Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Rita here. If you're new around here, I am your hostess with the mostest of the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. I am recording at the heels of a session. So many of you know, because I've been talking about Marketing Business School is having a trial month this month. And so one of the new calls that we're trialing out is something called monthly planning. And the whole point of doing a trial month was for one, if you have ever been curious about Marketing Business School, come joining us on the backside, seeing what it's all about and seeing how it can help you with your business. And two, Marketing Business School is having a bit of growing pains in terms of learning all the things about marketing are great, but they're not great if you're not also doing all the things that we're talking about. I'm not saying that you have to do all the things, but it's one thing to always be learning, and it's another thing to be doing on the things that you are learning. And I think that's kind of where the inspiration from this episode came out of, this idea of focusing on money-making activities. I have had this, so I do have a bank of different, ideas for podcast episodes, and this has been one that has kind of been in there for quite some time, because I know other industries talk about these money-making activities, but we don't really seem to talk about it. I feel like maybe I talk about it a little bit more in that, we're in business to make money, to make an income, and sometimes we get sidetracked by other things that we think can help us make income. So I've kind of, the notes that I have here, because I've scribbled on some Post-it notes, really, we're going to go over direct money-making activities and then also indirect, because there are certain things that you can do that are going to directly, you're either going to make money from that or you're not. Other things that are a little bit more nurturing, a little bit more passive. So again, when I say direct, it's proactive, and passive is a little bit more indirect. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but it may take a little bit longer for it to work. Similarly, I think some of the direct ones could take a little bit longer, but I think it's you get an answer quicker instead of being just ooh, I'm just gonna wait here in outer space. And so we just had a really great planning session. And I think it was super helpful, especially when we're thinking about this topic, that it's not only that we are talking about doing things, but we're implementing. So we started our session with a brain dump. We ended our session putting tasks into our calendar. I know for me, so I think I've mentioned it on social media. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it on the podcast yet, but I am taking the last month of September off. Don't really have any big plans aside from going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So yes, you know that I am a Disney adult. I don't always talk about it, but I'm born and raised in Orlando. So how could I not be a Disney adult or a theme park junkie at that? But while I'm not necessarily going anywhere, I am committed to not doing anything business related. Now, I just got word of something that I might have to do something business related, and it's a good thing. But other than outside of that, which was a last minute thing, I'm not going to do anything business related. So I need to be planning for things now so that I can take that month off to completely decompress, because I am excited on multiple levels, not only to take the time off, but also the version of me that's going to be back after that time off, and the ideas that will come from that time off. Just you wait, because the fire, I feel, is already going to be lit. So breaking it down not only like just doing a brain dump, but also putting it on the calendar so that you have due dates, and it also holds you accountable to getting that stuff done, I think was just really exciting. And it just put everybody, I feel like, almost in a more focused and clear spirit. So if that's something that you can do, I think that's one of the calls that we're kind of regularly going to do when we do some changes within marketing business school. Monthly planning on top of doing like quarterly reviews as well. So let's go back to money making activities, because I feel like the planning part is probably one of the more indirect aspects of money making activities, because while planning all this out doesn't directly help you to make money, it does help you make money a little bit easier instead of starting just from square one and being like, I guess I'll do whatever anybody tells me when they're throwing things at me. No, we want to be intentional. We want to be strategic. That's why I called this podcast the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. So the first thing, if you were to say to me like, Rita, I really need to make money and I need to make sales right now. Like this month, I need to have one $10,000 booking, or I need to collect 4 professional fees to pay this bill, or whatever it might be, I will tell you, you need to go out and talk to people. And talking to people is either like on a phone call, it's texting people, it's sending emails, it's sending DMs. The fastest way to get your next sale is to talk to people. And I know you might be like, but that's so simple. Exactly. A lot of the direct money making activities, people have made money before the computer was even around. Like, I'm thinking about like the general stores. I'm thinking about like people who had to, make all the royal outfits of the king and queen. But I'm also thinking farmers on their farms, which that's funny that I said that. Of course a farmer is going to be on the farm, but they could be like animal farmers, they could be produce farmers, they could be other specialty type farmers. So there's like making money is not a new thing. And even before making money was a thing, there was the barter system. There was like, we're not even going to worry about making money because money wasn't just a thing that like came from the earth. It's something that we as human beings created. So a lot of people were just doing things in order to sustain themselves, in order to survive. Money, again, was not a thing to think about. When money was a thing to think about, like I think about the railroads being created. So there had to be laborers that you had to pay for. There had to be like parts that you had to pay for. And then when the train is running, you have to have staff running the trains and printing the tickets. And then you have to like pay the people for the paper tickets and the ink for those tickets. Like there's so many different parts. And you know how they did business before any computers went around is they went out there and they had the conversation and they talked to people and they said, this is what I have to offer. And this is how it can help you. I would love to do business. And you either did business because you needed that or you didn't do business for a variety of factors. Maybe you already knew somebody that was doing that business. Maybe you didn't like that person's tone, that person's values. Like this is how differentiation, because it's not like there's one general store in the city. There might be a couple of general stores in the city, or maybe the city is too large. Or maybe you have specialty stores. Like when I'm thinking about stores too, there's shoe stores, there's hat shops, there's dress shops, there's so much variety in what things can purchase. And again, like it just goes back to the basics. Not only is it, when I think about those days too, a lot of it was being able to have a storefront. And there's so many of us business owners that we don't have a storefront and we don't want a storefront. Like I do not want a physical building to do business from. And that's where some of the digital marketing avenues come in, like having a website, being present on social media. But that's also like when we're thinking about going back to basics, The Chamber of Commerce's were started because of this, because people were in business and needed other people to know that they were in business so that they could stay in business and so that they could keep generating revenue. So again, going back to the basics is that you need to go ask for the sale. If you're not exactly sure who to ask for the sale, that is a symptom of not having a large enough network, in my opinion. And that is what was the plague of me being in business for so long, is because I thought I could do it alone. That was a big mistake. And two, I thought that friends and family were going to help me out. And that is very rare. Like, I know that there's some advisors and travel business owners who they have had a super successful business because family and friends have been in their corner, and that is just not the case for everybody. And I mean, you can have an amazing relationship with family, but for some reason, they're not going to trust you with their money, but the big corporation down the street will happily give you tens of thousands of dollars for a trip. That's a true story that has happened to me. So you have to ask for the sale. And if you don't know who to ask for the sale, then you need to start networking to build up that network, because not everybody in your network is also going to be a customer. People in your network serve lots of different reasons. They can be just really great people to bounce off ideas from. They can be really great referral partners, so they might not need your services, but they know who needs your services. They may be really great cheerleaders for you, kind of like in that referral partner era where they might not be talking about you all the time, but when they do talk about you, it really does count. So you need to have lots of these different pieces within your network, people that can also be potential collaborators or joint venture partnerships, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But you have to be unafraid to open your mouth and communicate with other people that you are in business and that this is what you do in business. But you also, thinking about that, have to really understand what is your business, because it's not as simple as saying that you are just a travel advisor, you're a tour operator, you have some other business within the travel industry. There's a lot of different things that happen from here. Another direct way to make money is by upselling. So when you are in a discovery call or a consult, you can describe experiences of how you can make somebody's vacation, maybe from an average vacation of what they thought they were looking for, and taking it to the next level. And it's not only that, maybe they were only thinking about vacation or hotel tours, flights, but they hadn't considered things like maybe having a family photo shoot, maybe adding travel insurance, maybe renting a car so that they could have this amazing experience. That is what your role, especially as a travel advisor, is to paint the picture of things that your client doesn't know. You are the expert, and they are coming to you for your expertise, for all of your hidden pocket, hidden gem type stuff. And so while you may not necessarily mean to be upselling, you're just telling them what the possibilities are. This is also, I'm thinking about like the dog salivating for the biscuit, or like the tail wagging. This is getting them super excited for their trip. And some things are going to be like, yes, we definitely want to do that. And some things are going to be like, yes, or no, we don't want to be doing that. But you would have never known that if you hadn't put that little buzzer out there in their ear. So you have to like sneak in like little methods of being able to increase. So you've already got them on the line. It's probably going to be a sale. So how can you increase that sale so you generate more revenue from that sale as well? So again, thinking strategically that it's not only just making money, but how can you make more money in a short amount of time with less effort? And upselling is just kind of like a duh, like of course I'm going to be upselling different things. And thinking about it, not that I'm trying to sell and make a bajillion times of money and all that, but that you are providing, this is part of the service that you provide, is that insider knowledge. And you have to be comfortable being like, oh, but you could also do this, and this is something that I would love to do. Like, really get them salivating over certain things that you might know about, and also not selling from your own pocketbook, because you just never know. And I think I'm pretty sure I mentioned this recently. I'm working with some incredible people, all because I did that. I let them know, hey, I have something to offer you. This might be of interest to you. And a lot of the people, and I can't like divulge too much information, but I did not think that that was going to happen. And it happened because I had something that was going to be a benefit for them. So do not be afraid of being of benefit to somebody. Even though it is sales, you are providing an amazing service to them. Making some sort of offer. So, and thinking about that, everything that you do to generate revenue inside of your business is some sort of offer. So your travel planning services is an offer. If you are just doing consults on somebody's vacation, that is an offer. That is something that you have for sale. If you're an affiliate, or if you're using a co-branded link from one of your supplier partners, that is an offer, because you can have like things available in multiple ways. So an indirect way of making a sale, when I'm talking about like making an offer specifically with affiliate links, is making sure that you have an active blog, and some of your favorite experiences, let's say from things like Project Expedition or Viator, you are including your affiliate links in those blog posts. So if that somebody doesn't book with you on the whole of their vacation, at least you've been able to earn some affiliate revenue from that blog post that you have posted. So your website is working for you. Similarly, I've had the conversation a couple times earlier this week about monetizing your travel business in multiple ways. It just doesn't have to be strictly travel planning services. Some people are probably expert travelers but have no idea on how to navigate a certain region, or they're using vacation points, credit card points to book things. That doesn't mean you still can't work with them in some capacity. Charge an $150 consultation fee. I would be more than happy to sit down with somebody for an hour and to be able to pick the brain, essentially, of an expert for some place that I've never been. I have all the contacts that I need, that I might not need to like book everything with you, but at least you are generating revenue in some avenue. Like, I don't want you to lose the sale, even if they're not fully booking travel planning services. They might have like they're very skilled and they've done this quite a couple of times, and they're just wanting to know like some of your top tips and tricks, or they want you to put an itinerary together. And there's certain technology that makes it easy for other travel experts who might not be travel sellers to do this. So if they're generating revenue from this, then I definitely want you to be generating revenue from this as well. So this one really is making an offer and having offers available. And having offers available also means that sales funnel, making sure that your sales funnel is out there. Because yes, like being able to call somebody up and say, hey, there's a special promotion or something going on. Are you interested in X, Y, and Z? That is one thing. But then you have to have, how are you collecting credit card information? How are you getting terms and agreements signed? That other part also has to work for you, because the quicker that you can get them to sign on the dotted line and commit, the quicker you are able to make that revenue for your business. So you also have to think not only having offers available, but how are you going to do the other side of that offer and complete it so that you make the sale actually. Following up is another, I say it's a direct way to make money in your travel business. And I say this because and I think I mentioned this maybe in last week's podcast episode, no one is going to care more about your business than you are. So you may have made the initial communication, but you haven't heard back yet. So you need to start doing some follow-up. And maybe it's every week that you follow up, but it's essentially until you haven't heard from that person, or you say, okay, seems like now's not the right time for you. I will go ahead and contact you again in 6 months. But there's a famous quote out there that says the fortune is in the follow-up, and following up with people, I would definitely say, is a way to generate revenue, because a lot of times, a lot of us business owners and people who are clients for other people, we are also busy and we need different reminders. And so you may have told somebody and said, I have this beautiful itinerary for you. I just need to know if you're ready to go ahead and work together. And you don't hear anything, crickets. Sometimes you're not going to hear it from them at all. But sometimes they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Back to school has been insane. And getting back into a routine for my kids has been a lot harder than I thought. Let's go ahead. Let's plan to schedule this vacation that I desperately need right now. And that is also another form of, just asking for the sale, is following up. Another direct form of money-making activities, in my opinion, is OPP, other people's platforms, getting in front of other people's audiences. So this is similar to what I kind of had mentioned about networking and having people in your network that do different things for you. And the same people can probably do a couple different things for you. And one of them is allow you to use their platform. So while you're also growing whatever platform it is that you have, you can leverage other people's platforms to also grow your own platform and make an offer, whether that's an offer for a lead magnet, a freebie, if that's an offer for a consultation, if that's an offer for full travel planning services. There's a lot of different things that you can offer. So getting on somebody else's platform means maybe conducting a joint venture type of webinar. Maybe it's a joint venture type of masterclass. Maybe it's like an Italian foodie, gluten-free foodies webinar or masterclass or something like that. But it is very specific. People I know will have their ears perked. I mean, I kind of perked my ears there because I would love to attend an Italian gluten-free foodie tour masterclass or webinar to learn more about how I can do that on my next trip to Italy. This can also be, people are selling in Facebook groups. Facebook groups are a way for, people to gather, ask questions, troubleshoot, look for answers. But it's also a way for you, not only that you're providing that expertise, it also gives you another platform to make a sale. So asking for that sale, posting about making the sale. I say it's more direct than other forms of social media because you have an engaged audience typically in a Facebook group, as opposed to people who are kind of like just floaters on other platforms. So getting on somebody else's platform is a direct money-making activity. Sometimes it might take a little bit, but I feel like it's a little bit more direct than other indirect type methods because whoever's platform you're going on most likely trusts you, which means the people trust them. So it's just a higher level of trust instead of just, having like an IG live by yourself or something like that. There's somebody else there to vouch for you if you're on somebody else's platform. And then the last form of money making in the direct terms for me is partner outreach. So again, it might not be that you are directly working with them, but maybe they're a referral partner for you or they're a connector for you. That's something that happened earlier for me this week, is that somebody that we don't necessarily work directly together, but she was able to connect me with somebody that I would like to work with. So that was pretty cool. But that only happens if you open your mouth and get on a call with somebody and say, hey, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. Like, you have to put yourself out there. I think that's a lot of September. Like, I have a lot of, because I did a lot of networking and prepping things in August, like September, I am meeting a lot of people and just broadening my network even more. Like, I've been meeting a lot of really cool people. And so that's really interesting. And while it may not be an immediate money-making activity, that we are also vested in, like, how can we let this relationship blossom? Because maybe it's that at some point your referral partner is like, you know what, you always keep talking about Christmas market river cruises, and I think I want to bring my family and friends on one of these trips, or I think I want to bring my clients on one of these trips. How can we make that happen? And that's what I say, like, being open to partnership opportunities, so that you might not be a great Pied Piper, but somebody in your network might be a great Pied Piper for a group trip. And being able to leverage, because it's also kind of like OPP, leverage their platform to build something together that you can sell and both have some sort of mutual revenue, whether that's like cash. Of course, you're going to be getting cash, but they might be getting like a complimentary stateroom or something on the sailing. So that's up for you to decide. We're not going to get into those specifics, but being open to partnership opportunities and being open to partner outreach. I am not talking about cold emailing, being like, hey, so-and-so, I've got this to offer you. No one likes those emails. If you send those emails to me, they immediately go to spam. You better be coming, instead of like, what's in this for me? What's in this for us is the viewpoint that you need to be doing your cold outreach, if you are doing cold outreach, because I get them so often. It's like, I can help increase your YouTube SEO. And I'm like, how do you even know that I care about YouTube SEO right now? Like, come on, and don't, that's the sleazy way. Like, if you're scared of being a sleazy salesperson, that's how you do it. It is not through some of the things that we have mentioned. So some indirect forms of making money. The first thing that I put on here was niching. And I don't think it's like, when we think about niching, I don't think we think about necessarily making money. But hear me out, like, I think of niching as an easier way for you to make money because you're able to put those blinders up again. You're able to see more clearly, like, I am marketing to nurses. I'm not marketing to stay-at-home moms. I'm not marketing to sports gurus. I'm not marketing to business owners. I am marketing these trips to nurses who are burnt out and need a vacation. And that is the way that you generate revenue, by having a clear focus on who you need to be reaching out to, because then that will also tell you how you can reach out to them and who's the right person to be reaching out to. Because I think nurses, then I think about nursing associations, hospitals. There's got to be like nurse support groups. There's also got to be like nurse education, like social media type influencers and educators. Like, there's just a whole, I don't even know much about nurses, but that's what having blinders up helps with, is the more that you think about that demographic, the more opportunities are presented to you to make money in your travel business. I would also say social media and email marketing are indirect. It's a little bit more passive. You can mention that you have a special promotion within there. You can mention that this is what's happening, that you're having some sort of masterclass. But where you're really going to sell them is in the masterclass. Where you're really going to sell them is on the sales page. So it is, email marketing and social media is a way to nurture, but it's not the immediate, it can be the immediate way to make money. And actually, that's another plug for Prep for Wave Week, because I have a social media expert coming on Prep for Wave Week talking about social selling. Like, y'all, I've already started to record some sessions for Prep for Wave Week. I know I'm digressing real quick, and it is like, it's amazing, and I am just really happy to be partnering. See, there we go, partnering with some amazing people to give you incredible content that will hopefully take your business to the level that you want it to be at in 2025. So, but digress. While in my instance, how I see social media, it's not an immediate, we're going to make a sale off social. We may make a sale. I probably make more money off of email than I do social media. But again, I make even more money by sending an email out to somebody directly and asking them, hey, I have this available. I would say an indirect way of making money is also by having automations. We kind of talked about that with the sales funnel on the direct side, but it's also like having your calendar set up and having it easy for somebody to book a call with you. The easier that you can make things for other people, the easier it is going to be for them to say like, yes, let's book it. Let's do it. We're good to go for this trip. So automations is an indirect way to help you make money. Great service. And this is, like, you're going to have to tune in. So huge shout out to a travel advisor that attended my focus group session. He was like, can we do a session in prep for Wave Week or in a podcast interview? It just happens to be on prep for Wave Week about like love and marriage on a cruise ship, but with different travel advisors at different levels in their business. And so we do have a session. That's the session that I recorded. And that's what inspired me to say great service. I'm not going to spoil too much about that Prep for Wave Week interview, but kind of like overarching, if you are providing great service to people, to your clients, they are, one, going to want to come back, and two, they are going to rave about your amazing service to other people, which in turn makes money because you're making more sales because of the amazing service that you're providing. So really focusing on having excellent customer service. I would say kind of like some honorable mentions when we're thinking about indirect ways to make money is to have payment plans available, and then also to have clients and promotions kind of top of mind. So if you know that a client has been wanting to like visit their seventh continent and there's a promo to visit their seventh continent, reaching out to them. So it's kind of like a blend where there's a promo available and you're doing that direct outreach to be like, hey, I think you might be interested in this. This might be the year that you finally visit that seventh continent or whatever it might be. Similarly, when we think about money-making actions, I also want you to think, how are you going to get someone a little bit closer to the sale? And that might mean somebody needs a payment plan. Like they'll pay a deposit now, in 6 months they'll pay another deposit, and then they'll pay their final payment. So being able to break it up makes it easier to make the sale. It makes it that easy yes. Because we don't want people thinking like, oh, should I not? We just want it to be like, heck yes, I want to go, let's do it. All right, so those are some money-making activities that I had really top of my head between direct and indirect. Let me know what you think. Feel free to shoot me a text. You can just click that link, send Rita your thoughts in the show description, and send me your thoughts on these money-making activities. Send me your thoughts on maybe some money-making activities that we haven't talked about here. Because I'd be curious to know, like, what else might you be doing to generate revenue within your travel business? And then also, I would love to hear what other topics, what other juicy topics can you think of that you would really love to hear on the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur podcast. I'm wanting to work ahead, so I'm trying to curate topics, and I know one of the topics, but I have to like really flesh this one out, is a topic on like etiquette and ethics within business, because that's been something that's been coming up a lot, that I've been seeing come up a lot. But I'm curious to know for you, as a travel business owner, no matter kind of like what facet that you're at, what are the things that you would like to discuss? Maybe we have a panel discussion here on the podcast. Maybe we openly talk about it, but what are some things that you're curious about in business? Maybe you'd like to know exactly what I'm doing in my business. How do I stay consistent with email marketing? I will say my social media marketing is not going to be there the month of September just because I am busy working. So I like to pop in every now and then when I can, but it is not really going to be that big of a priority for me because my relationships really are the biggest priority right now. The relationships that I've made mostly digitally and hugely because I've done initial outreach to people. So let me know. I'm an open book, really. I would love to hear your thoughts on future episodes and what you thought about this one. You have a wonderful weekend, wonderful week, and I will see you here next week. And make that money! Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.